I'm on record saying that the worst thing about eXp Realty are these what I call downline silos. They're bad for the agents, they are bad for the company, and they ruin the company's culture. Yes, this is my opinion, and you should definitely do your own research to see if you agree, but let's talk about this. The downline silos are ultimately what will end up being the company's biggest downfall. Stick around because we're going to actually talk about what exactly a downline silo is and why they're bad and, well, a culture killer. But I'm also going to bring the receipts. I'm going to show you examples of what's going on at eXp Realty. It's all out in the open. Real quick, hey, it's Jeff Chubb. I'm a recovering RE/MAX, then eXp agent that is now partnered with Real. If you have questions about my experiences, then, well, no, I'm an open book and I'm ready to help. All my contact information is down below and reach out confidentially, of course. So in a recent video, I actually talked about why I left eXp Realty, and the downline silos was one of those reasons. Don't get me wrong, this wasn't the reason that I left. It came down to being a financial decision for me, but the culture rot of these downline silos, it always bothered me. To say it another way, these silos were not what actually pushed me out the door, but man, was I happy to have that door slammed shut once I left. So what is a downline silo? At eXp Realty, you are an agent, and if you recruit someone, then they are in your downline. Now, there are some very epic recruiters at eXp that have amassed downlines of 10,000 plus people. As your downline grows, the financial rewards get bigger and bigger. So different competing downlines started offering different perks. You see, that is very important word there, competing. eXp doesn't act as a collective. We are all in this company together company. Well, maybe from the outside, but on the inside, especially if you're a recruiter, then it's cutthroat. So rewind back to when I started. You essentially had the beginning creation of these downline silos. There were two dueling factions, and it was creating a big rift. eXp, they had an all-hands-on-deck meeting with who were seen as the heads of these factions. A rule was created that you could no longer offer someone something of value that the company couldn't stand behind if that said person was to leave. In other words, I couldn't offer you ongoing coaching for my coaching company because if I left, then eXp wouldn't be able to keep that promise to you as an agent. They even fired a very big team leader with the largest team in South Carolina over this. I know this because he was originally my personal sponsor. I hadn't come on board yet, so was able to actually switch horses, but talk about a shit show. Back to the downline silos, eXp went so far as to say that you couldn't promise anything that they couldn't stand behind. They said nothing about all of these different factions creating their own dually built-out organizations with different competing resources. Take a look at some of these Facebook posts. Like I said, this is all out in the open. Here's one where they're actually talking about a group giving away a stunning Tesla Model Y. Don't miss the organization's black and white ball. And oh, the terms and conditions mention that the winner must be a member of their downline. Or how about this one? A lot less in your face and, well, actually kind of going against that initial rule we just talked about. But this guy, as someone joining who he is obviously promised will get the listing training and become a listing machine. Or how about this one? This is an entire movement and their generals retreat. This downline has a special mastermind for their agents, and this all makes sense because the #1 recruiter in the country, someone that probably pretty much all of these people actually feed up to, has his own special event in Cabo every single year. If you are in Brent Grove's downline, then you too can go to this Cabo event. You have to pay, of course. That's the case for all of these downline silo events, but I just find it funny that there are downline silos within a downline silo. Do you want another example? Give me about 5 seconds and let me jump on Facebook. We could literally do this all day because it's non-stop. First and foremost, kudos to all of these guys. These are business people who have surveyed the field and are competing to their highest level. These are amazing businessmen and women who have built some pretty amazing organizations as well. But the issue is as each individual downline silo becomes stronger, it becomes at the expense of the main company, eXp Realty. It creates a cutthroat competitive culture. not one that works to raise the tide to help lift all ships. I actually think this is one of the reasons why the dual sponsorship at Real matters so much. It helps remove a big piece of this competitive element. But the thing that makes the biggest difference is that you can't offer one person something at Real that you aren't offering to everyone else. Isn't that a refreshing thought? Knowing that everyone is playing within the same rules? I had a buddy reach out to me to talk about Real. He's considering eXp. One of his questions, well, what did they give you for going to Real? The answer was easy. It was nothing. But upon further reflection after the call, the question really fascinated me. He was a guy, a very good agent, and a salt-of-the-earth man. The kind of person that you'd always be proud to be aligned with. But while he sells a lot of houses, there are always people that sell more. And it was obvious that even in his initial conversations with eXp, he was being given promises and assurances of some type of special deal. Wouldn't that drive you crazy? Thinking and knowing that someone else that joined got a different and very possibly a better deal? Right now, I'm seeing LPT just give away the farm to sign up big teams to join. They are sometimes cutting an enormous monthly check to these teams, plus the promise of lots of stock. But what one guy gets is not necessarily what another gal is getting. I think it's important for everyone to play from the same set of rules. And that is what Sharon, the president of Real, that's what he demands. If he does something for one, then it has to be for all. That's how you grow a successful company. That's how you grow a company that, in the end, doesn't end up eating its own. Call me crazy, but I just don't see a happy ending for a bunch of people living under the same roof in a cutthroat culture in a shrinking agent market. I feel like it's going to be a cancer, something that ultimately rots from within and ultimately ends up consuming it. That might be extreme, but it's going to eventually negatively impact eXp like it did back when I first joined. One final thought, and a good analogy. We have 50 states in our union. Now imagine that people were generally more proud and active in their state than in their country. In other words, they were more consumed with what divides them than what unites them. The United States of America. And that me being a Massachusettan, does that work? Or you being a Texan came first before our country. It would be like God, family, state, then country. It wouldn't work. The country would fail. And yes, I am saying that each downline silo is like an individual state. Red versus blue, south versus north, east versus west coast, or heartland division. It's not a good thing. We are all together stronger when we're united, and that is what Real is all about. Again, it's Jeff Chubb. Let me know if you're wanting to learn more about Real, confidentially, of course. All my contact information, it's in the description below, right down there. Until next time.